I see you. Your eyes. Your hands. Your chips. Everything. So I don't need to see your cards. We play at fulltailpoker.com.
This is Diego Cordovez.
Adam Schoenfeld.
Welcome to The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. We have a young man named Bryan Micon.
I call him the Icon.
Who has
I
the nickname
coined
the
that.
Icon. And he's an up-and-coming poker player and poker personality as well.
He's also a Rock on Tour media developer. Very interesting guy.
And a guy who has good perspective on a lot of things. So not yet as well known, but we've got him here, and we'll be able to look back in a few years and say, we had him before he was...
before he blew up. Huge.
Yeah, exactly. This jacket you wore when you were at the final table with Frank Henderson and
Johnny Chan.
Bones Berlin.
Yes.
Back in the 1970s. What I like about you is that you're a up-and-coming poker star, but you have an appreciation for the history of the game as well.
Yes.
Describe this artifact and some of your other artifacts.
This was definitely a intentional purchase from eBay. I've been looking for an old school Binions jacket for a long time. I've asked many security guards and old time poker players when this was to try to like carbon date it that way.
Right. See, there used to be a tournament called the Hall of Fame tournament, which was like the second biggest tournament.
That was a very important tournament.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal. And just like at the World Series, if you made the final table, you got a jacket. Now, if you make the final table, you get beef jerky.
Yeah.
You get. I mean, literally, people might think we're kidding. This year at the World Series.
And thousands of dollars in sponsorship opportunity.
Yes, but in terms of the host providing a little memento, now
they don't give you a jacket. They don't give you.
I'm actually really pissed about just like when Harris took it over, they got rid of some of the really cool parts of the World Series. Satin, crazy, like gaudy jackets. They have. I played as with a card protector of a Stu Unger chip this year.
They had those memorial chips. You remember the whole series, the Barbara Enright, the Stu Unger.
Barbara Enright, and it's old school, and she's got a perm. It's the best.
See, I'm not a Harris basher, which is why I may be terminated from card players. But it would actually be in their interest to promote some more of the historical ties, and they at times they do, but a lot of times they don't, and it's like the whole history of it is what attracts a lot of people and gets people excited about, hey, there's a whole legacy from Johnny Moss to Stu Unger to the modern times, and a little bit of that's been lost.
Eric Drake, Bob Thompson.
Yeah, of course.
The Furrier, Perry Green.
Not to get caught up in stuff that nobody knows about.
This is the history of poker.
Except us. You made a run in the H.O.R.S.E event this year.
What happened?
Are you?
You're now a mixed game specialist?
Yes, I am the champion of all mixed games.
But you you are putting an emphasis on mixed games.
I did, and now I've seen both of you gentlemen. Actually, probably Diego is more hardcore about some of the horse tournaments on some of the online sites.
I play, not on some of them. I play the Sunday.
How dare you?
I play
Tilt, poker.
No, there are other good sites too, believe me. But on Full Tilt Poker, there's a horse tournament every Sunday.
We see each other
at 6:30 p.m. And I've requested that we be seated at the same table as much as possible.
Because of some of your study plays in particular.
But it's a great tournament with a very good structure for people who are like trying to, because it's a $200 buy-in, so it gets a little better caliber player. And I play it religiously every Sunday because I never have anything else going on.
I see you in it every week there. That and the $24 one on Full Tilt just for a.
We used to play that every night. We used to play that every night, and now I want to get back into that because it's a very enjoyable tournament. And if you want to play horse, that's a great, super inexpensive way to train in the horse. Give us a little bit of your. They call you the king of all degenerates. What's your background? How did you become that?
let's see, how did I become the king of all degenerates? Well, back in '06, they were just throwing out TV time for poker. And I made a deep run in the main event. I brought some props, had a donkey wand.
Yeah, describe the props, please.
All right, one of them was the thriller dance, which is when I do this after winning a hand. Now,
That's all the more timely now.
It's retired.
No, it's very
retired,
timely.
RIP. Right, it is. It came back, but yeah, now it's dead.
Now, was that kind of
dead.
a self-mocking thing, or
Honestly, I called one
or
of
you
my
just
best
didn't know any
friends.
better?
My best friend Jason Miller, kid I've known since I was 1, roomed with him in college. I called him up. I said, they've been pointing TV camera at me because I got a lot of chips in this thing. What do I do? And he just snap answered thriller dance.
So
I'm like, all right, fair enough.
you had a media strategist, in effect.
Yes, we'll call him that. We'll call
So
him a
this
media
was
strategist.
this was thought out. It was not a spontaneous.
No, he just said. Actually, the first time I used the donkey wand as like a months thought out prop of like.
What is the donkey wand?
It is an LED that when you shake it really fast, you call it developmentally disabled person. Like when you shake it really fast like that, then it says donkey. It's like written in air. They have this,
Yeah.
but it didn't show up on camera. But they showed me doing it a couple times, and it looks like I'm just
And when would you
like
do it?
looks
For
like I'm going
example?
nuts. Like I did it only for a big hand, and or just like.
When the tension's high.
It wasn't an inappropriate just acting
I
out.
only did it when someone was knocked out of the.
When I just put a terrible beat on
Right,
somebody.
right.
It would be when I'm all in. That's amateur hour. I'm sorry. We don't
Turn it off.
We have a I don't know if you know, but Never Win Poker, a site that I run. We are a zero style of reporting. The zero style of reporting. The zero effort reporting operation.
Right.
We do nothing professional. You guys have a beautiful office here, and we just kind
Yeah,
of shoot
professionals,
from the
yeah.
shoot from the hip. That's what we do. No.
So all this
Right.
stuff, see, I've played with you, and I know you. I know you're a nice fellow. But all this stuff is the kind of stuff that I think is at the same time that it's promoting poker, it's also destroying poker because it's so antithetical to the respect that players used to have.
Some
for each
people
other
hate you.
and-
I would say that if anyone that's played with me at a table, I mean, you've played with me too.
Yeah.
Not in like a super cameras
But I haven't
everywhere.
had the wand
Sure.
pointed at me or a dance.
Right, you would have beaten Brian senseless.
Beat people for less.
Yeah.
I
at the
would
table.
say that the situations that I used some various antics on were definitely like playing for the camera. And if you played with me in these tables, I don't think you'd say like I was totally out of line or disrespectful or the Havad Khan, as we'll say. And by the way, he's obviously, I don't know if you guys had him on here. The dude's like a really nice guy.
No, I think he's a nice guy
Super
also.
low-key
But
in
I
real
think
life.
He's also
he regrets his
also-
antics.
Yeah,
He's
he
also
does. He does a little
stated
bit.
a number of times that he's grown, he didn't know, and
I
that's how
do
he
not
does it.
regret my antics. I think that they actually fit in that when the camera was there and when, for what they're trying to do with putting it on TV. Like, think about the November 9. You're totally destroying the integrity of a poker tournament to promote, to make it
Disagree,
bigger.
but
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? You are severely altering
You're changing.
the
I wouldn't say
usual
you're destroying
structure
the integrity.
to make money, to promote, to make this exciting, to make this better for players,
But
watchers.
not at the cost of anyone's dignity.
Sure. Well,
there's a fine line. I mean, I don't think
Mr.
you're
Shulman might say differently.
Well,
but-
again, I haven't witnessed them. That's why I'm not necessarily criticizing them. But on the surface, they could be interpreted.
Sure.
It's just not my personality to do a dance. If you do a dance right after you've given someone a beat, that's unequivocally wrong.
Most of the dances were done right before the money went in. Like I had
Right.
committed
You
all my
reveal
chips.
aces. They show A7 offsuit. That's when you do the
No,
dance.
It's more when the cards are unknown. Do you know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
so technically like I could be
in
and
a
I
way,
think
it was
this is-
gamesmanship, and that is
Sure.
acceptable.
I think that like I know the Venetian, they cut out a lot of talking rules. You can't let's say I make a huge bet, I can't be like, or you can't tell me, do you got it? Do you have the ace?
Right.
I think that's very much, and that's like the old World Series, the history stuff. I remember watching that thinking, I bet you I could outthink somebody.
Walter
here. I'll
Pearson
bet
would
you."
show a card.
Yeah.
The famous Jack Treetop Strauss Deuce 7 bluff
Yeah.
that we somehow made it into every single old poker publication.
Right.
Now, interestingly, I'm not going to. Your partner, Todd Dandruff Watellis, bracelet winner, much like yourself, Diego.
thinking?
He also had some antics that didn't go over that well. Was that the same year?
Okay, that was in '05, and if you guys remember, he
I don't mean to
spun-
make you defensive. I think this is all just valid conversation.
I think it's brilliant. I
Yeah.
love talking
So
about
go
it.
ahead.
We can do this all day long. He spun a seat cover.
Right.
Now, Druff is very much, he did not have a strategist, to talk to or anything.
He didn't have a stylist either.
He didn't go to my best people. So he just the TV camera showed up, and again, he wants, and for me too, by the way, I actually forgot the main point, and it's for him. It was to get this logo on television. Like, I'm a kid, I got the website,
Right,
nobody
and
knows
that's
who the
legit.
hell I am.
Sure.
I need to get this website on TV so people start signing up for the forums.
See, I remember Todd would tell us his appearance, and I didn't know him. I don't know who he was. I didn't know him. There was no connection. And of course, he was foolishly like waving this thing around and acting goofy. And if anything, he just looked like a goofy, silly guy.
Sure.
Which can be a good or bad image. And he was able to promote the site and get on. So on the one hand, I feel like I couldn't do that. I've just,
Right.
I'd be embarrassed. But he's not hurting anyone. If anything, other guys are just kind of laughing at him like, why is this guy acting goofy? If anything, he's
In a way, I
himself.
think it worked because, first of all, Todd is, if you know him, he's a very good player, especially at the limit hold'em. He's super serious, so he showed this side that may have encouraged people to think that he's a lunatic, which
Yeah.
he's certainly not. He's anything but.
It was
Right.
very undruffish to do what he did, but again, he unfortunately wasn't wearing Never Won Poker, but he did get his self on television. He got time. You become like, it's kind of weird what happens now. If once you're on television, it kind of like then you're a poker player. Oh, they've filmed you playing poker, so now
Right.
you are a poker player. This is all of a
Well,
sudden
it's a
validated your
self-fulfilling
skills.
thing. Also, it of course, in reality, it has nothing to do with your skill. But once you're on TV, you get on TV more. You're on TV more, your brand increases. You get more opportunities. So it's important to be on
They
TV.
cover you.
Well,
You've
the
never
one-
been on TV.
No, the one thing about being on TV is that even though it doesn't really make any sense, it does legitimize you as a poker player.
Right.
I mean, I've played and won. Now that I'm just like a loser and don't play, I get on TV once and people are like, well, this is really respectable. Now you're
Right, they
a
don't know about
poker
your
player.
your bracelet.
Doesn't matter, right? But so be it. But television now is, I always say, for people who are playing poker and their parents are still kind of wondering, are they just pure
Yeah.
degenerates, or is this really a profession or not? Or people that they went to college with who are like, what does that guy do? Is he just a broke? They see you on TV, it's like, oh, now he's legit.
Now he's
Even
a
though
known
that can be a
broke. A known broke.
completely random occurrence. And of course, we know lots of guys that are not on TV or are rarely on TV who are the legitimate
Right.
big winners, but that's okay.
So is your ambition, because I often struggle with this myself, do you want to be a pro poker player? Do you want to be a media personality? Do you want to be an announcer? You have your own hit radio show? What is Bryan Micon?
Yeah, I run a very strict policy of no schedule, no real aim, no drive,
ambition.
no ambition,
Right.
no motivation. And so
Solid.
just kind of see what comes out. And I'll say the radio show is certain things that I'll do that I'll just really like and just keep doing, like the radio show. We've had Adam on, I believe. Have we ever had? We're gonna need to get.
No.
The radio show.
We're gonna need to get.
I'm going to give it,
Grayson
even though it's a
here.
competing media site, I'll give the radio show a plug. It's neverwinpoker.com, and it's Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. And
you
the
can
radio show is
podcast.
fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. He's been on.
We got a little bit off topic, but the title of King of the Degenerates,
Oh, yeah.
that's a
Yes.
very competitive title because we know a lot of people, some of them big names who are on TV a lot, who have horrendously bad leaks, whether it's in the pit or in sports or in their personal lives, and it's not even to make light of. I mean, there are people who they have tremendous poker talent, but Las Vegas, as someone told me years ago, is going to expose all your leaks, and if you have a inclination towards degeneracy, it's going to flower it and
That's well said.
So to be king of the degenerates implies some incredible level of degeneracy. I mean, without getting into the volume, what are the aspects of degeneracy?
It's not really a totally earned title, I would say. I mean, not as bad as I can find a close personal friend that is worse in every single area.
Right.
of degeneracy than me.
Right.
But I just feel like if there was like a triathlon or a decathlon for degeneracy, like if there was like a I don't know, like a
Right.
bar games test, I
For
would win. 'Cause
variety.
I'm
You're
used to-
consistent, you know, in
Yes.
every category.
Like I know how to play. I know how to set a Pai Gow dominoes hand, but I don't play it for like $700 a hand every night.
But you will play.
We were discussing Pan the other day, and Brian was interested in the conditions, and you know, I told him that it's played with a pencil. That's, you know, when I think of you as the king of all degenerates, I think it more of not that you're such a tremendous degenerate yourself, but you're like the Pied Piper of the degenerates because
That's-
they rally around you and your sight.
God, you're right.
That could be the really
See,
dangerous.
that's how you got to
right.
soundbite it.
Yeah, that's much better. I wish I would have said that.
That could be. I mean, that could be the most dangerous of all, because.
As long as they don't know your address, it's okay.
Well, no, I don't mean dangerous for you personally. I just mean dangerous for society in the sense that you're inspiring degenerates. And I mean, obviously, there's a parallel to Howard Stern, the king of all media. He has a lot of followers who do crazy things in his spirit, even though he's a relatively conservative
You're
guy.
gonna get me on an FBI watch list.
So
aren't
if
you?
You're like a Cotton Mather with your Puritanism all of a sudden. It's not. There's nothing dangerous for society. It's all good.
Now we're gonna hear about some guy who like sets fire to a poker room or something, and they'll be like, "In the spirit of Micon," or something. You know,
Wow,
I was listening to
yeah.
Micon's radio show backwards, and he instructed me to.
You know,
Right?
you know the eerie parallels between Micon and Todd and you and I. Like,
Well,
this could be
according to you,
This is
according to
That's
you.
a duo.
I could
No,
run
it's
this down. This could be
similar.
an SAT analogy because you know Diego and Adam is to blank and Micon, and the answer would be Todd would tell us.
Right.
All right. Todd's a bracelet winner. You're a bracelet winner.
Yes.
Micon has had up and down results. I have had up and down results. Not a bracelet winner. Not a bracelet winner. Media superstar. Media superstar.
Right.
Taciturn, slightly longer-winded.
Not slightly.
See where I'm going with this, Brian?
Yeah, we should double date. We should just-
All right, Brian, it's been a pleasure, and in all seriousness, you are an up-and-coming player because you've been getting stronger and stronger results and diversifying your games, and I know you do get more than a few dozen listeners that have a following, and I enjoy the show too, so I know we're going to hear a lot more about you, and you provide a welcome and needed injection of humor into the oftentimes overly serious world of
Yes.
poker. Thanks for joining us on The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. Write to us at thescoop at cardplayer.com.
I'm about to tell you a story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Fact or fiction, doesn't matter. It's all how I tell it. We play at fulltiltpoker.com.